Okay, this video is going to be a lot more casual. I don't have a script for this, but this just happened in a game I was playing, and I think it's really interesting. So I wanted to talk about it. I figured I'd show it here. So basically, the topic of the video is going to be that a lot of junglers, including myself, tend to really prioritize camp optimization. Um, but sometimes don't necessarily think about what could happen. They don't necessarily think about what could happen, and like as a result, from their pathing decisions, and that's something that might seem more worth it at face value might actually not if they spent more time to think about the situation. So basically, what happened in this game was that I was playing jungle for red side, and my jungle matchup is against a Singed with Ghost, and Predator. So basically, he's going to be looking to play as aggressively early as possible, whereas I'm going to prioritize power farming. So what's interesting, well, I'll just talk it out actually. So we both start bot side, and I'll just go through what happens here quickly. So essentially, I'm clearing camps, and we're both clearing up towards the top scuttle here. So here, I just skip red buff because camp resets are actually faster if you do Krugs first and then after. It just makes your pathing more efficient. So that's what I went for there. Now, if I slow it down here, me and the Singed are both going for this Scuttle Crab. However, this Scuttle Crab is pretty much guaranteed to be mine. Even if he has Smite, it doesn't matter. It's guaranteed to be mine because I have both mid prio and top prio. So there's no shot that Singed actually gets this, because all I have to do as soon as Singed shows is ping for my Yorick and my Vlad to collapse, and Akali and Cho'Gath can't afford to collapse because of the state of their minion ways. So I go to get the Scuttle here. He tries to fight me, which is a mistake on his part, because once again we have prio. So Yorick runs down first, Cho'Gath is stuck catching wave under his turret, he can't come. Vlad's in a pretty good spot too, so he also comes, and then I'm able to get this Scuttle Crab, and Vlad also gets the first blood. And then I start taking the Scuttle Crab. Okay, fantastic. So this is the situation that we're in now. I'm in a very good position, as if I pull up the scoreboard here. These should be swapped, me and mid swapped here. But I have 20 CS, 5 camps, and the Singed only did 4 camps. So he's very behind right now. So I have one of two choices here, pretty much. So I could go for the Scuttle Crab, which I do. And then I could instantly reset and then start pathing towards my Gromp. Let me see how much gold I have. 845. So I'll have about like 950, 960 when I reset. And I don't believe I have futures market this game. I wish I could check. But knowing me, I probably do a futures market. So if I really wanted to, I could get like Blasting Wand and Boots here, which would be like a really good first buy for me. And then I could path down towards Gromp, and I could play towards my bot lane, who have the wave aggressively positioned towards their turret. The state of this bot wave will become very important in the future. But basically, the play that I should have done in hindsight was reset here and then path back towards my Gromp with my buy, and then start doing the Gromp Wolves, Raptors, Red, Krugs. The other play that I could do here is that I could go for the bot scuttle, because I'll have a smite up when I go to that bot scuttle. And so I could easily double scuttle here, and then as soon as I finish the Scuttle Crab, my Gromp would be respawning, and then I would just go immediately from the double scuttle into the Gromp and then back up through my camps. Now, the way that it works is that if I double scuttle, the pathing is the most efficient possible for me as a jungler. It's giving me the most CS. It also just feels really good to double scuttle, and it's kind of like screwing over Singed the most. So I'll let it play out. You'll see what happens. Ignore how I'm doing the Scuttle Crab. I completely messed up the pathing. Probably lost a few seconds there. It doesn't really matter. So I immediately just cut to the bot scuttle. I don't even bother cutting around here because it's slightly longer pathing. I don't care if they see me; they can't stop me. So I go for the bot scuttle here, and this is actually a mistake. If you really think hard about it, the line is extremely obvious of what happens here. So what happened is that Singed got a back off, and I did not. So he has items. He has Predator boots, and he has an extra 300 gold worth of items past that. He is much stronger than me at the current moment, right? And as we mentioned earlier, this bot wave is pushing in this direction. Also, Lux is low on mana. So their priority is probably to base, like as soon as possible. They're trying to like shove this in a base. So when I go for the Scuttle Crab here, what I'm inadvertently doing is fucking over my bot lane, and you'll see why. But basically, like from Singed's perspective, he's thinking, okay, Gwen is taking the top Scuttle Crab. I'm going to sprint my ass to the bottom Scuttle Crab, so that way I don't get double scuttled. That's what he's thinking in his brain, right? However, in general, when a jungler has no camps to take, they're trying to look for something to do on the map until their next camps come up, because it's really bad to just like not be doing anything in the game. So by taking this Scuttle Crab here, what I'm doing is that I'm telling Singed to go do something else. And as we already addressed, Singed has Predator, and he's trying to play as aggressively early as possible. So I take the Scuttle Crab here, and because I took the Scuttle Crab, I'm forced to take my Gromp, because that's the only, like, if I reset here and then go run down to my Gromp, I'm losing about 30 seconds worth of standing gold, and that's putting me super behind the tempo. So by taking the Scuttle Crab, I force myself to path towards this Gromp and then start clearing my camps up. Otherwise, the whole entire setup where I skipped my red buff over the Krugs is going to be a complete waste, and like no optimization is going to be gained. So I have to go Gromp here. Singed is going to run over to try and take the Spot Scuttle, and the instant he sees that it's red, he goes to this bush. The instant he sees this thing is red, he is thinking that he has one of two things. He can either clear these camps, or, looky here, there's a no mana Lux, and the wave is still pushing towards blue side. So he could go for the safe play. He could clear Krugs, Raptors, Wolves, Gromp, right? But there's no point in doing that because he's an early game jungler and he's already behind. Like, he knows right now that he's 3 camps behind me, and that just matching my camp speed on an early game jungler isn't going to be good for him. So his instant reaction when he sees that this Scuttle Crab is taken is that he has to make something happen. He has to gank bot here. It's the only line. And me not seeing that at the time, I just go to clear my Gromp. Look, I even like think about it. I like check the bush, but he's just a little bit slower than I thought. So I'm over here clearing Gromp, and he's about to gank. Now, you might say like, oh, okay, just like roam over and make it a 3v3. So we can't. We lose this 3v3 really hard. First of all, Bar Jhin is a super oppressive lane early. And like I said, Singed got a buy. I did not. I do not have a buy right now. If we 3v3 this, we lose, especially since Lux has no mana. This is pretty much like a 1.5 v3 if you really think about it. So I can't come down here to help this. And that's like we lose this fight no matter what. So I just have to keep clearing my camps. And then Sin's just going to come down here on the no health Lux, because like, think about it from the bot lane's perspective, right? Like, even if they knew Singed was coming, like, backing off is really bad for them, because they're going to lose a cannon wave if they do that. If they back off here, this cannon is gone. That's a big deal. Like yes, giving over 2 kills is not good, but it feels really bad as this Jinx to back off here. You really want to get this wave shoved in and reset. So they both die here. Jinx burns heal, Lux burns flash, and then they both die. And like I said, the problem is I can't go fight with them because I'm down items, and I'd be ruining my pathing by doing both. So we lose that 3v3 no matter what. And these two died for it. And the play overall was like heavily in Blue's favor, and it was all my fault. Now, if you reverse the situation, if you go back to the Scuttle Crab situation, right here, when I'm taking the Scuttle Crab, let's say I take the Scuttle Crab and I immediately base. What does that mean? What that means is that I get my back off, I get to buy Blasting Wand and Boots, or I could also get, maybe that's enough for, no, I don't think that's enough for Blasting Wand, Ruby Crystal, whatever. Blasting Wand, Boots, right? So now, I have more gold than the Singed, like a lot more gold. So if I have a buy here, if I have Blasting Wand, then what that means is that I would be basing right now, and then I would be running over here to clear Gromp. That's what I would be doing. I'd be clearing Gromp. Now, what ends up changing is that when Singed is down here, instead of me having cleared the Scuttle Crab and went to Gromp for the most optimal pathing available, for the best solo play I could have made, which is what I did, what would be happening instead is that I would have items, I would have a Blasting Wand and Boots, and I could actually go and fight this 3v3 because I'm strong enough to win this fight if I have a Blasting Wand that early into the game. So just to recap, the most efficient play from this spot possible was to double Scuttle and then start clearing all my camps up. What ended up happening was that my double Scuttle inadvertently caused Singe to gank bot lane and get 2 kills because I didn't have the ability to plan ahead. So this video was pretty much just explaining why, depending on like lane situations and champion objectives, that going for a double Scuttle and going for efficient pathing isn't actually always the best thing you could be doing. So I just thought that was like a really interesting point of how a less greedy option of just resetting at this Scuttle Crab would have completely dodged this scenario entirely, as opposed to my bot laners having to die because of an aggressive mistake that I made. And like you could say like that this is the bot laner's fault. Like you could say that, oh, they're overextended, oh, blah blah blah. But like, okay, this is solo queue. In solo queue, you can't assume that your teammates are doing anything. Like any mistake that happens, it's on you. Like that's just how it works. Like it doesn't matter that my bot lane was overextended. What matters is that my decision is what led to the Singed gank, and I chose not to ping it at the time. So this all could have been prevented by me, and in solo queue, that's just how you have to be thinking. Like anything that you could have salvaged is something that you should have salvaged. It doesn't matter if my bot lane messed up. What matters is that my decision like facilitated a situation in which they messed up even more. So just remember, before you go for a double Scuttle, just think about what exactly your double Scuttle could be doing. Just think it in advance about what optimal pathing might be doing to the rest of your team. And that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about. I'm not even going to edit this. I'm just going to post it. So, yep, that's it.